Hey, what's happening guys? Welcome to eReviews. Xiaomi and Redmi have sort of become household names in the past few years, especially after selling close to 1 million units of the Redmi Note 3. To make a successor for such a great device is not an easy task, but Xiaomi has decided to go for it, and so we have the Redmi Note 4. Have they made a worthy successor, or are they just riding on the Redmi Note 3's success wave? Well, that's exactly what we are here to find out, so without any further ado, let's get started. I think most of us have unboxed a Xiaomi device in our lifetime so far, so let's skip that part and directly move on to design and build quality. Frankly, not a lot has changed. You get the same metal unibody design with a bit of plastic used here and there, but still a solid build nevertheless. The back retains the same design language from the Redmi Note 3. You have the camera below, which we have the LED flash and fingerprint scanner, which is quite fast and accurate. Not the best, but it does its best. What has changed though is the front. We now have a 2.5D glass that curves elegantly into the chamfer edges. It is still an unnamed protective glass though, so take good care of it. The sides are now squared off chamfer edges, which is a welcome addition from the previous rounded edges, which didn't really provide a lot of grip. The right side houses the volume rocker and power button, which is perfectly positioned in my opinion. The left side houses the hybrid SIM slot, which either accepts 2 SIMs or 1 SIM and an SD card up to 128GB. To the bottom we have the speaker grill and mic sandwiching the micro USB port. Now the micro USB port does support OTG but loses out on fast charging capabilities, which we will talk about in just a bit. To the top is where an issue lies. Yes, we have the 3.5mm audio jack, IR blaster and secondary noise cancellation microphone as usual, but they have moved the ports around from the Chinese variant, so most of the third-party accessories you buy might not fit the Redmi Note 4 Indian variant perfectly. I've made a dedicated video on this issue, to which I shall leave a card. However, I needed to protect the unnamed glass, so I got this rugged case where the seller has manually made holes to sort of fit the Indian variant. Not perfect, yes, but I got it for a throwaway price, so I'm not really complaining. But be sure to check before you buy third-party accessories for the Redmi Note 4 Indian variant. Coming back, like I said, not a lot has changed. You can put it this way. The Redmi Note 4 to Redmi Note 3 is what the S7 was to the S6. Same design language, just more refined to the touch and look. Getting to the verdict on this section, the Redmi Note 4 has a good proven design and quality build materials, but that unnamed protective glass is something that bothers me. It was the same with the Redmi Note 3 and Xiaomi is yet to change it. So I'm giving this device a good score of 8 out of 10. Moving on to performance, the Redmi Note 4 does live up to its name as a successor. It might not seem like much of an upgrade on paper, but it does deliver. Everything from the internal is translated onto the 5.5-inch Full HD display, which is pretty good in itself. Accurate colors, good amount of contrast and good viewing angles. Outdoor visibility is legible too. The Redmi Note 4 runs through every day-to-day applications without any hiccups. Not just processing them, but even with multitasking. Gaming is on point too. Even the heaviest of titles seem to run smooth, and hey, it does not heat up. Good hardware and decent software optimizations provide this overall fluidic user experience. I mentioned software as decent cause it's MIUI. The Redmi Note 4 runs the latest version, MIUI 8, which is based on Android 6.0 Marshmallow. It does perform way better than before, but given you have the 3 or 4GB variant, cause 2GB variant will mostly be bottlenecked by the heavy skin. My only issue is updates. They claim to have Android Nougat on the works, but you can't really believe what companies say these days. Xiaomi is notoriously slow with their updates, and hence I'm not keeping any hopes on them. Instead, I'm going to flash a custom ROM after I'm bored with this ROM. I know it's not a viable option for many people, but let's face it guys, that's how it is. Battery life is what makes the Redmi Note 4 stand out from its competition. Sporting a massive 4100 mAh battery, it lasts an entire day with ease, or even 2 full days if your usage is minimal. I'm really glad to see budget Android devices pulling such huge numbers with respect to battery, because they weren't really known for doing this. Anyways, last and least are the cameras. If there's anything that lets the Redmi Note 4 down, it's the cameras. For the main camera, we have a 13 megapixel shooter with an aperture of f/2.0. In my honest opinion, it's plain mediocre when compared to its competitors such as the Honor 6X, Cool One, or even the old Moto G4 Plus. As you can see, it does perform above average under good lighting conditions. It does overexpose at times, but the HDR mode comes in handy at those times. It does provide decent bokeh, but color accuracy is bad. This flower was way more pinker in person, but in this image it looks washed out. And this was a bright red flower which in this image leans towards the pink side of spectrum. Here's a comparison with iPhone 7's color accuracy. Under low light though, the camera completely breaks apart, overexposing areas and always producing grainy images. But thankfully, the video quality is comparatively better despite lacking any sort of image stabilization. As you can see, the 1080p footage is acceptable, but make sure you have such good lighting conditions. Coming to the front-facing camera, you have a 5-megapixel shooter with an aperture of f/2.0. Got a bit of a bokeh going on in the background. As you can see, it performs way better than the rear-facing camera, produces some good selfies, and not the best when it comes to color accuracy, but hey, you're anyways gonna put up a filter on it, so it doesn't really matter. If you're looking at the front-facing camera from a social media perspective, such as going live or putting up a selfie or taking that occasional Skype call, then it's totally capable. But if you're looking at it from a vlogging perspective, you might be in for a disappointment. The main reasons is the onboard microphone. As you can see, this is how it sounds without me altering the volume, and this is how it sounds after me bumping up the volume by a few decibels. Audio quality being so hampered is not a good news for vlogging. So coming to the verdict on performance, no matter how well the Redmi Note 4 sells or how much people praise it, it still has big downsides that people might purposely ignore because of the price. And I don't really blame them. But as a reviewer, I can't look past these downsides. But I'm still giving the Redmi Note 4 another good score of 8 out of 10 because its current competitors failed to give an overall experience. Now that leaves us with 16 out of 20 as the overall score. It's the same score that I gave for the Redmi Note 3. I mean, come on guys, it's practically the same phone with minor changes, so you don't really expect a huge rise in scores. In fact, the Redmi Note 3 is actually a better buy. I'd probably give the Redmi Note 3 17 out of 20 at the moment because its performance and cameras have been improved and tuned via software updates, which might take few months for the Redmi Note 4 to achieve. Anyways guys, so that's about it for this video. If you liked it, give this video a big thumbs up. If you have something to say, head over to the comment section below. If you like my style of reviewing, don't forget to subscribe and follow e-reviews on social media. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.